Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this week's recap video. I feel like we had a lot go on this past week.
Did we?
Yeah. I feel like we're cruising into the territory where we're gonna have all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, I almost have all of our grow lights completely full of stuff right now. I'm gonna have to move some stuff inside and like actually treat them as houseplants inside and not just under grow lights in here.
Do you need more grow lights?
Well, maybe. I've considered it.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to be very organized with how I'm doing everything in here. I'm hoping that the stuff I have in trays in now by like first or mid part of March is already potted up in new pots and out in the heated greenhouse, so I can plant all my 6 to 8 week stuff in here. Anyway, it's just a process. It's going to be a learning process, but I think I've filmed pretty much everything that we've done in here up to this point.
Nice.
Yeah, I always am a little bit, like I want to put together full grow guide type videos or like full, like have it be more...
Like it shows the whole year as opposed to just taking one point in time.
Right, because I do so many things usually in videos, like I'll do 2 or 3 projects. That's really hard to categorize or find if you were wanting to like see the whole life cycle of something. I don't know. It's just not the way we usually put things together.
You would need somebody to like keep you organized probably.
Yeah, well that's true. Okay, speaking of, let's just jump into last week's videos. The first of which was winter arrangement for the Hartley greenhouse plant maintenance and cucumber salad. So the video I told Erin when I got done that I felt a little scattered that whole afternoon. I don't know why. Do you ever have those days where you're just like, what am I doing? I felt like just...
All over. And I had planned on doing one other thing. What did I had planned? I had planned on doing something different, and then I remembered I needed to make cucumber salad. So I'm like, well, you guys get to see me making cucumber salad. But I do really like how the arrangement turned out in the Hartley. It's just nice to have something in there. And then we took care of some of the annuals and such in the greenhouse and got those fertilized, cut back. And then I made the cucumber salad. Rebecca said, anyone else literally hanging out for the view of Laura's mom's face when she saw the hellebore? Yeah, what happened in the video? I don't know. You know, in the editing program, if you select a clip and you hit the V button, it mutes that clip. Like it just makes it blank. And, you know, you can accidentally hit a key when you're like...
Are you saying you could accidentally hit a key?
I don't know if
I think I was the last one to review the video.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that clip.
Well, that's not true. No, because you gave it to me. So Ken edited it, you watched it, and then you handed it to me. And I kind of skimmed through it because I think you gave me a thumbs up on it. You're like, yeah, it's great. Go ahead and post it. So we
have no idea what happened. At some point, one of us accidentally hit something. I remember seeing that though in the when I reviewed it.
Do you know? I remember like 5 years ago. I remember Roman Atwood, who was like he used to do pranks. He still makes videos, I think, here and there. But he edited something wrong on purpose, and he actually said it. He said, "Well, it increases engagement." Because people comment on it. No, I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't create the blank thing on purpose. But, you know, looking at the bright side of things, maybe more people commented.
Maybe we could put the little clip that we accidentally deleted in right now.
It might not make sense, though. It might feel like super out of context.
Yeah, who knows? I found blooming hellebores. Yeah.
Look at that.
And some Angelina sedum. I thought I'd make a little planter for the Hartley today. It'll satisfy whoever really wanted to see my mom's reaction. It wasn't like she was helping a customer at the moment. So it wasn't like, you know. Donna said, do you ever use something to cover the drainage hole? Yes, I do. In fact, you'll probably have seen it before this video went out maybe. But I potted up a begonia for inside and I put paper towel, like kind of in quarters at the bottom of the pot because it allows water to still go through and it'll break down. I mean, paper towel will faster than anything else. But sometimes I'll use a coffee filter. I'll use old dish rags. I've got some iron urns that I don't know what is wrong with their drain holes, but the drain holes are like this big. Like that is not a drain hole. That is like somebody messed up.
Yeah.
Or like I tried to look to see if maybe it had rusted out or something, but it's pretty uniform. So anyway, yeah, I will use dish rag on occasion. Just anything that will allow water to still seep out, but keep the soil in. Tina M9 said, beautiful as always, Laura, thank you. How about adding some battery operated fairy lights? That is a good idea. That was quite a popular suggestion.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of it was a dark day that I did that display.
Sure.
And so it makes it kind of hard to see the colors even in the green, leaves or, yeah, it would add a little bit of sparkle in there. Debbie said, have you thought of using the hugelkultur method in the bottom of the Hartley cold frames? It would save you soil for now. Once the logs, branches, compost, you will need to add more soil, but that's usually 2 years or more. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Those are so deep that we could line some stuff up down there. Just let it break down.
Anytime I think of that, it just feels like such a long-term approach.
Well, not in there, because there you're going to be irrigating whatever's in the cold frames. So it's a better approach for the cold frames than it would be for just sticking out somewhere where it's only going to receive our rainfall, which is really not enough to, I mean, it's enough. It'll eventually break down, but not like any sort of speedy thing. Katie said, if the soil is above the hole in the wall of the raised bed, will it still keep the whole bed to an even temp? No, I need to keep the soil level below that hole. Which is perfect because whatever I put in there needs to have room to grow, and I need to be able to still close the lids. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Like, you don't want your soil level to be so high that you can't grow greens and maybe something a little taller. Like maybe I put some broccoli or something like that, or some flowers in there, but I'll still need the ability to close those lids without damaging the plants.
I saw on
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No?
I totally interrupted you. I didn't mean to. You go ahead.
I'm offended.
You go ahead.
I noticed, maybe we have a picture, but somebody from Hartley shared a photo of somebody who put like a sliding, like metal piece over that hole.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain was like going faster than. Anyway. Yeah, we didn't have that put in.
No, but we still could.
Was it on the inside or the outside?
It was on the inside of the cold frame.
Okay. That would make sense, like a little sliding.
Yeah, to where you can close it off if you need to. So if you wanted to raise the level up, you could. Or if it was below that, you could just keep it open, and it would. I guess the idea for that hole is so that the heat from inside the greenhouse can make its way into those cold frames as well.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing I would worry about even with the door shut is moisture getting in. Like if you have soil up over that hole, it's not going to be a watertight hole.
Right.
So you'll have like soil, a little bit of soil, sludge stuff, and water coming through there. Right. I don't think that's good. We could have put the hole higher, maybe.
Is it pretty low?
No, not once the beds are full. Because if you actually take into consideration
that things have to grow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Venus said, this is stunning. How often do you need to water that? Right now, like every couple of weeks, I'll go in there and put a little water in. I'm sure they're frozen right now. Yeah, it's pretty chilly out. It's gray. It's supposed to be gray today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Aaron. Or no, Thursday. It's Tuesday. What day is today? What is today? Wednesday is today. Tomorrow, it's supposed to snow. I'm so messed up with my week. Yesterday, with it being Samantha Grace's birthday, I didn't do any work yesterday. I just prepped to have family over for dinner and things like that. So yeah, Thursday, 90% chance of snow tomorrow. Let's see. It starts at 7 a.m. and goes as long as my forecast shows. Carla said, how often do you clean out the chicken house /run? In the wintertime, it's about every 2.5 weeks. And we don't do every time like a deep clean. We'll just clean up like underneath their roofs and things like that, and then do a general rake up of the run. And then in the summertime, it's more like once a week when it's really hot. We have a large coop and run combo that we can move around with our tractor, which gives them new grass to forage and lets them fertilize a new 7x12 area every few weeks.
That's cool.
That is really nice. Roy said, what is the timetable for finishing out the Hartley, floor, HVAC, etc. this spring? I don't know. Honestly. So I know what I want for the floor. I just need to go select it. I don't even know. Like, do we go to the place where we got the brick?
Yeah, probably. There's a couple places I know that we can go look. We can do the floor anytime that Benny can get to it. Benny doesn't work in the wintertime.
No, Benny's crew isn't even here. I think they're gone. So he'll get his crew back early spring. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of waiting. Yeah. He knows that project's kind of imminent.
we'll do the inside as soon as you pick out the slate or whatever you're wanting for inside, and then Benny can get to it. The HVAC can't go in until power goes in, and power can't go in until the trenches are in. The trenches can't happen until you give me a design for where things need to go, because we can't put permanent electricity boxes. Well, we're running a lot more than that. It'll be like electricity, water, even things like low power stuff like Ethernet and stuff like that, because why not? Like, let's just put Wi-Fi out in the greenhouse.
Everywhere.
So anyway, once you give me a design, then I can hire the boys to come out.
Yeah, I'm kind of the bottleneck at this point. Tony said, I think it's so funny that Aaron seems always so willing to drop everything and help with anything. I've never heard him argue or resist. Does this happen behind the scenes?
Well, wouldn't you say that I'm probably one of the most helpful people that you've ever met in your life?
Yep, for sure. Definitely one of the top 3 most helpful people in my life. Next video was new annuals for 2022. Every single January we go through and share some of the new annuals, perennials, and shrubs that are coming out. It's always a really fun thing to do, and I know I say that every single video, but I really mean it. Like, it's a super fun thing to do right now because, you know, other than starting the few random seed varieties and taking care of houseplants, there's not a whole lot of other things going on. And it's fun to kind of like know a little bit about these plants before you see them show up at a garden center. So when you go down this spring, you know, and you see some of these brand new things, you're at least familiar with the name of it and maybe what it looks like and that sort of thing. But anyway, there was like, what, 33, right? 33 annuals?
There was a lot of them.
There was a lot. Andrea said, I particularly love when you make these kinds of videos. I tend to go back and watch a few more times as I try to find them locally. Plus, it gets me excited to start planting. Good company. Very jazzed for a new Supertinia Vista. Me too. I've used Vista Fuchsia twice now among several of them and found that it loves my zone 6B in Pennsylvania. I can't wait to see the contrast between the Jazzberry and the Fuchsia. Yeah, you know, like side by side, I would pick Jazzberry because I tend to be like a little bit more of a cool color palette sort of person. Fuchsia kind of lends itself a little bit more like tropical or warm, maybe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Jazzberry's awesome. I fully believe the high success of my garden is because of you and your channel. I bought my house the fall before the pandemic. I stumbled upon your channel and listened while I worked from home. I have such a routine of having my morning coffee and watching Garden Answer. I cannot thank you enough for sharing your genuine love of gardening, which is why I believe you are incredibly successful. Thank you for sharing so much with this community, your family, your home, and of course the kitties. Super sweet, Andrea. Thank you very much for that comment. Pam said, I would love to see a show devoted to preparing garden tools and supplies for the coming growing season. Have you done such a show before? Yes, I don't know all in one place though. Like, I do know we did a video where I cleaned and sharpened shovels. I've done pruners, but maybe we could like line up all of my tools. Like, this is my tool arsenal, which is not very big because I'm very specific about what I like to use. So like there's one hand tool I use. Let's see, I have one shovel, one hand tool, or one rake I like, loppers, pruners, and then...
I think there's enough. We should totally do that. We should put together something that, it's not really tools, but just like getting ready for spring.
Yeah.
Like some of the things that you found the most helpful.
Yeah.
Would be a good idea.
Good idea. Barb said, did these new Color Blaze coleus get seed heads or not? The Color Blaze coleus, kind of as a whole, are bred to either not flower or they wait way later in the season to start flowering. Instead of, you know, starting to flower 2 weeks after you plant them, it'll be months after you plant them. So you're saved quite a bit of time in between there. Jennifer said, have you seen or experienced the new Shasta Daisy from Proven Winners called Banana Cream 2? It says it has a longer bloom season. The original was so pretty with a purple salvia I made as a gift. Yes, so we planted the Banana Cream 2 daisies in my parents' garden last summer. So I wasn't there, you know, every day to see its performance, but my mom did report back quite often. She was really happy with that plant because she has had other Shasta daisies like Becky, you know, the kind of standard one. She's had those in the past, and they're just kind of short-lived in terms of their bloom season, but Banana Cream 2 does bloom a lot longer, and the flowers are big. Elizabeth said, are any of these available from seeds? They are not. Lily said, can we see your 1 million subscribers play button from YouTube? Aaron brought them all out here. I'll show you all of our plaques. Starting with, this is the first one we ever received. This is our main channel for getting 100,000 subscribers. And then we did get a plaque for 100,000 subscribers on this channel, Garden Answer Highlights. Ugh. And then this is our gold plaque. Oh, I just hit myself in the face. It's heavy. This is our 1 million gold play button plaque for hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. The only one we actually have hanging from a wall is our first plaque, the 100,000 sub plaque on our main channel. That one's hanging in our kitchen.
Well, that's actually the old one that they originally sent. They changed the design, and so I actually have 2 silver ones for the main channel.
They might go up on the wall in here. That seems like the best place to put them.
Yeah.
They're really cool though. Cool to have. Katie said, so exciting. As you find out, can you let us know which growers are supplying these and other favorites just so we can watch for them? You know, the best thing you can do, because there are I wonder how many growers.
Thousands of growers.
Lots of growers. The best thing for you to do is talk to somebody at your local garden center who does the ordering. Have them check with the growers, and they'll probably be able to let you know right away whether or not the growers are going to be supplying particular varieties that you're after. That way you can know, okay, well, I need to move on to a different, I need to ask somebody at a different garden center and see if they have a grower that's going to be growing it. Everybody is different, and some growers take a while. Like, it's kind of that way when you order too. When you order plants, like I could find myself, like when I was ordering air plants, for example, or house plants, I would tend to order a lot of the same things over and over because I knew how to take care of them. I knew where they would perform the best at the garden center, and so I knew they were solid. And if there were any new things, sometimes I would kind of skip over them just in an effort to just get things done quicker. And so sometimes you just have to like prod people a little bit and be like, come on, let's carry some of these new things, these exciting things that are coming out. So I think talking to them and letting them know that there's an interest is a good place to start, really. Christina said, I'm not understanding what last through the season means. I live in Florida. Oh, so we have summer all year long, and then if we are lucky, 1 week of winter. So with our rains in the dead of summer and our heat, does that mean they last almost all year? Last through the season, when I say that, means last through a hard frost. Mildred said, I have no sun in my home, surrounded by shade trees and a deep overhang on the house. Are there any flowers that I can grow that thrive in shaded areas? There are. You can do impatiens and begonias. Terrenia are good ones. There's a lot of foliage plants you can do that have a lot of color, like the polka dot plants, hypoestes, like hippo red, hippo pink, hippo white. There are caladiums with a ton of color. There are heucheras. I'm trying to think of all. And those bloom really pretty.
More limiting, though, in
for
shade
sure.
versus sun.
For sure. There's more. I just, like, off the top of my head. DS said, so the Supertunia Priscilla and the Superbell's Double Twilight, are they the same plant? No difference. They are not the same plant. They are different plants. One is a Supertunia and one is a Superbell. Supertunias have larger flowers. The color is a little bit different in that the veining is much deeper purple. The Double Twilight, Superbells, smaller plant, likes less water. Both of them are self-cleaning. They don't need to be deadheaded.
Not necessarily less water, but like...
they want to dry out between watering.
Yeah. Like, I think the Supertunia can take the same water requirements as the Superbells, but I think Supertunias can also take more water than Superbells. Is that right?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, you get that huge canopy on a Supertunia, I would think it would require a little bit more water.
Well, yeah, just bigger plant would probably take... Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, I guess when they're further on down the season. Yeah. But yeah, very different plants, different growth requirements. Both in our area have to be sprayed with BT on a weekly basis to keep the budworm out.
You know, I haven't really noticed that on Superbells, though.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Yes, I have. Yep. They're just a smaller flower, so you probably don't notice it as much.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep. Next video was a succulent unboxing. So we got a shipment in from Mountain Crest Gardens, and it had been a while since we did an unboxing from them. Beautiful group of plants. There was one air plant right here and a whole bunch of succulent cuttings and potted succulents, which are now all under grow lights, and I did pot the succulent cuttings already, so everything's tucked in and happy. Kathy said, can I just give Aaron a huge shout out for his camera work? You do exactly what my eyes are saying to do.
Oh.
Good job, Aaron. He's got a lot of, like, the setup. We're kind of honing the setup in here.
Well, you know, part of that is also Ken cutting to the right angle at the right time. Because we've got, for that video, there was like 3 angles.
Yeah.
So it takes somebody figuring out which camera angle will look the best, too.
Right.
So
Valentina said, I have good luck with mostly all plants, but for me, succulents always fall apart. Literally, their leaves falling, cactuses splitting apart. What am I doing wrong? My goodness. Probably too much water, I'm guessing, because usually when you have succulents with not enough water, their leaves just dry up and they kind of stick to the plant for a minute and you have to groom them off. And you would see desiccation on the rest of the plant. So like the base of the echeveria would dry up, the leaves would kind of stick to the stalk, and then the rest of it would look kind of puckered. If they're getting too much water, the leaves will just fall off. They'll get kind of waterlogged looking and fall off. With the cactus splitting, I would think that was a too much water problem. Either way, I think it's a water problem.
I heard some discussion about watering succulents and cactus. So tell me your thoughts on this. And also, like, kind of remove yourself from the equation. Like, imagine you have one cactus or succulent and not a ton. Because maybe this wouldn't work if you have a lot of plants. But let's say you have one succulent. A lot of them like to actually be dunked in water and completely saturated versus, like, just a little, squirt with a syringe or something. And then, you put them back in their container and just let them drain. And then maybe it's like, 3 weeks before you water them again, 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. Do you think that could be better for your plants versus them getting a little bit of overhead water?
Yeah, whenever I'm only doing a little bit with my syringe, it's typically just in non-draining containers or containers where I need to make sure that I'm not dislodging stuff. Usually I use a watering can and I deluge the plant. And a lot of them are in saucers too, so it will catch a little bit and they can soak a little bit back up. But yeah.
So basically the question is like I don't think they need to be fully submerged, but at least the roots being like fully saturated and then drying. So being fully saturated less often versus a little squirt of water more often. Right.
I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to say because I would be afraid a little bit that the interior of the root ball would hold too much water. I've just had such good luck taking care of mine the way I do, and we water soft succulents like echeverries and stuff probably every 10 days or so here. We're really dry here though, keep in mind. So I water them overhead. I don't touch their leaves, but I'll water in between the leaves and the edge of the can, and I water and they just drain out and that's it.
Sure.
And they tend to like that quite a bit. So it's hard to remove yourself sometimes from personal experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, especially if you have 100 succulents, it's like I don't have the time to dunk every single one of them, but I do have enough time to go through with a watering can.
Right.
And water them that way. And so
if there was a way, like the trays behind me, these light systems have these big plastic trays in there. If there was a drain hole built in, you could fill the tray and just let everything soak up water, and then just put a tube at the tray and just release all the water into a watering can.
Right.
That's actually kind of handy. Maybe I'll talk to Gardener Supply about
that.
See if they can fashion something, because a lot of plants prefer to be watered from underneath anyway, not from overhead. So it's it would be an interesting experiment for sure for me. Next comment: always enjoy watching your videos. Can you explain how to take care of the air plant? How much light, water, humidity it requires? This is the first time I've seen them in your channel. Have we done air plant care before, Aaron? I think we did, and it was in our townhouse a long time ago.
Probably in our last house. So
I don't even know if it exists anymore. If it does, don't watch it. It's probably horrible. I haven't taken care of air plants in a really long time. I know the Xerographicas are more of a drought tolerant type, but here's what I do. They're in a indirect bright spot. I don't ever have any of them in direct sun. Maybe that's wrong. I mean, maybe some of them would like that. Our sun's pretty intense though. I keep them somewhere, right here is kind of perfect. It's catching some light from the grow light. And then I dunk mine in water every 7 to 10 days or so. I put them upside down in a bowl, let them soak for 30 minutes, take them out of the bowl, let them drip dry so that none of the water collects in the crown of the plant, because if it settles in there and then you go and display your plant like this, it can make it rot and leaves will fall off. But every single type of air plant is a little bit different, in that some will require more water and some are a little bit harder to water entirely. Like Spanish moss is hard when it's hard to mount it somewhere and not be able to take it down. You have to mist the heck out of it, especially here. I don't know. I would, based on what air plant you have, I would do a little research, figure out what that plant particularly likes, and then try to follow that. But yeah, it's been a while. I just tend to kind of go away from air plants a little bit because it's so opposite our climate. It is 100% opposite our climate. Julie's Garden Time said, have you considered a little succulent garden outside where you can grow succulents in your zone? I'm trying to do one in my zone 7A. Sedum and hen chicks are the most prolific, but I'm excited to learn what else can grow there. That'd be kind of a fun project.
Yeah, I totally think you should carve out somewhere to put a little succulent garden. We were going to do that a couple years ago, I think, with the circle area before we took that out.
Yeah.
The brick circle. And I'm glad we didn't, because, that's going to be going.
Yeah.
But you should carve out a little spot somewhere. That'd be cool.
There are some native cactus and stuff that survive here. It would be really, there were some planted.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting to try to cultivate an area like that. Donna said, where in the world are you going to put all those plants?
Around.
In places. On surfaces.
That's not
yet to be determined.
I've seen
TBD.
enough memes on Facebook to know that that's not a concern for most gardeners. Where plants are going to go.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good suggestion though. SC00 Bad Dive said, are you going to use some of the succulents to make Harris up again? Maybe I should.
You still have Harris?
I have Harris. He's in the back.
Is he?
Looking a little
rough.
Little mangy. Yeah. Elsa said, Laura, do you have enough plants? I would like to see what you do with all the plants. I don't think that one can ever have enough plants. It's kind of a sickness.
Yeah.
A little bit, because it doesn't matter how many seeds you have. Like, you are interested. It's just so fun to have all these different projects going on and grow different things. And I don't know, there's something about it that just really feeds me. However, I think the next video is talking about the load of houseplants that I helped with at the garden center. I still haven't brought a single one home yet, because I knew I had this table was full of plants, and I would need this table to be clear really to repot. This is kind of where I do it. And so I thought, nope, I am not going to bring home new plants until I have found a proper light, proper trays for everything I currently have, which I do. It's all organized and everything is pretty much in its proper spot. So now's the time. Maybe I'll get some this week. Romy said, do you quarantine the new plants in case they have any bugs or such? I don't. Usually the shipments we get are clean. I haven't ever received a plant here that had bugs. We've received plants at Andrews that had bugs before. Down at the garden center, back when I used to work there, we used to inspect like all the annual orders that came in, and sometimes you get a load of hanging baskets, not houseplants, hanging baskets full of flowers, and they would be an aphid problem or something, and we just send them right back to the grower. Anyway, yeah, we just inspect them and take a look at them. It's not a bad idea no matter who you're getting them from, even if you've had good plants from them in the past. I mean, bugs happen. They happen to all of us. In fact, there's like one fungus gnat all today. This whole time I have this little sticky thing. I want to take the sticky off and just... Yeah, we all have those kinds of issues from time to time, so it's not a bad thing. Just keep your eyes open. Yvonne said, can you do a video on peperomia plant care? I think that is an excellent idea, because of all the plants that we got down in at the garden center, there was a beautiful assortment of peperomias. It'd be fun just to line them all up and kind of just talk through what we do for care on those. And that brings me to our next video, which is helping unbox and display a huge load of houseplants down at the garden center. So I am going to be down at the garden center more this spring than I have in the past few years, just because I miss parts of it quite a bit, and I want to go down and help with things like that. It's exciting. I get re-energized. I like to... I don't know. I think it's just almost kind of a good break from the projects we have going on here to go down there and focus on something different for a little while. So anyway, that was kind of my first one down there. And so hopefully we'll have quite a number of different projects we'll share with you through the spring of what we're doing down at the garden center. Jennifer said, Andrew Seed is the most gorgeous gardening heaven I have ever seen. High praise for your parents and family creativity. Gorgeous. It's been a labor of love for sure. So my dad, he started there when he was a teenager, and then my parents together started the garden center portion in 1990. And it started small. It really did. I remember where the sunroom portion, the glassed-in portion is of the back sunroom, that used to be outside. So there used to be a wall there, and then the part that's glassed in was a little slat house right outside the doors where we'd keep packs of vegetables and strawberries. That was the garden center for a while. It wasn't out in the big yard next to the building. That was like truck storage and stuff. Like I almost can't even remember what it was like out there, but there was not a whole lot out there. So it's been a gradual process. It's been fun to see happen. Jill says, just curious, what percentage of indoor plant sales would you say contributes to Andrew's overall retail purchases?
10%. I have no idea.
I would think it's a smaller percentage than that. Don't you think?
Well, especially over the course of the year, because don't you think houseplant sales probably lull in the spring and summer?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it probably is lower than that. But who knows?
I don't know.
Do they know?
I don't know. Well, my mom did share their system in that.
Oh, yeah. In that video, she said, this is our POS system. What she meant was point of sale system. In her industry, that's what POS means. To the rest of the world, I think POS means something different. I saw that and I wondered, I was like, you know what? She's like established herself as being pure enough that, people might not know what she meant.
She would be like appalled if she knew that anybody thought.
I've seen those jokes
she
of
said
like
something else.
People, like kids telling their parents that WTF stands for, well, that's fun. So they'll respond to text with that. But
that is my mom right there.
But your mom was saying this is our POS system, and she was trying to, because we make fun of her that they don't have a computer system that keeps track of their sales. Mm-hmm. It's just up there for somebody.
L. Gill said, does Andrews have a heated greenhouse for the overflow from large orders? Love seeing all the plants and how you manage them. They do not have a heated greenhouse, but I've been trying to talk my mom into...
That baffles me that for so many years they've never put in a heated greenhouse.
Right. Well, I think once they see how ours operates for us, especially this spring, because we have it heated in there, but we haven't like
They've
set
seen
the sides.
heated greenhouses. Your parents aren't like.
I don't think they've honed in on it though, Aaron. Like
Really?
They've never really had a need. I mean, I think they could.
They have a garden center.
Well, I know, but they do other things.
I think that.
I think they're happy with what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's nice about your parents is they're never thinking about what they don't have, which is good. A lot of times I notice that about myself, that I'm oftentimes looking at the things I don't have versus what's right in front of me, and that's a bad trait. But as a garden center, I feel like a heated greenhouse, like every garden center could use more heated greenhouse space.
Well, they might now that they see how this one is run, and they'll get a little experience just seeing how ours works, and if we have any hiccups with it and all that, because they don't want to deal with anything that has headache, like anything that has headache written all over it, they don't want to deal with it. And so I think that's why they've kind of like just not shown a lot of interest in it, but they might once they see this one and if it works really well for them.
There's that garden center Edwards in Boise, and they have like a lot of heated greenhouse space.
Almost their whole shopping area is greenhouse.
Yeah, and I know that they set up like fake grass in
I
the
don't think
wintertime.
they do that anymore.
Oh, don't they?
No.
Well, they
used
probably
to.
last couple of years, but
yeah.
In the past, that always seemed like such a good idea for a garden center because I remember like moms would come with kids and
to
they'd
indoor
play
park
and stuff. That's such a good idea because that's the kind of crowd too that's going to be buying house plants and in the wintertime.
Right.
That seemed like such a smart idea.
Lorraine said, who is going to water all of that? Okay, so Dana is a gal that was down there. She was pushing the tanks a lot, which we bought when I was there. It's a pressurized water tank that you hook up to an RO system and it fills the tank and then you can go around and it's like a hose. But that tank's only,
I feel like you should do a video of you watering all the houseplants with the tanks a lot. People probably find that interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'll go down and show you guys like the pressurized tank. If you have a ton of houseplants, I think that was a really good investment. I think what they should do down there is what we've done in our own garden and zone it. Because Dana, I know she's only there like 3 days a week though, and I think it's gonna just take so much of her time because she also helps customers, and especially in the spring, it's gonna be a stretch. I think they should have every day have somebody assigned to a different zone, and this is Monday's zone. All the plants get taken care of in this zone. Everybody needs to like keep an eye on everything just in case one got missed or whatever. But then Tuesday zone, Wednesday zone, and have everything organized in a way that.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do in the nursery back when I worked down there full time. I wanted the garden center outside to be zoned.
What is that though? There's like something innate like in everybody that wants to run other people's businesses. Like, okay, so we've got this taco place in town called Tacos Mi Ranchito, and I could be wrong, right? But like they've got one burrito press thing. And it's like a Chipotle kind of thing where it's like you tell them what to put on there. I'm standing there and they've got one, like the whole line is waiting.
Yeah, there's like a line every time you go in there.
Yeah,
it's
and
really
they
good.
just do one burrito at a time. And I'm like, get 2 burrito presses.
Yeah.
You could have one person doing like 2 burritos at a time and the line would be, but they won't do it. So I don't know. Something about just like looking at other people's businesses and being like, I could do it better.
You would be a good consultant, Aaron.
You probably wouldn't.
Mark said, do you return the empty boxes to the supplier? I don't know what they do with those empty boxes. A lot of times plant companies would take back boxes in trays. So we would save trays for people. And then when they came back to deliver the next load, they'd take it all back.
Well, Andrews has a cardboard recycling
Yeah, there is a
thing.
cardboard recycle, and that's where all the extra cardboard goes. If they're like nice big pieces, we save them for projects like gingerbread houses. But I'm not sure what that particular stack of boxes was going to happen with that. I can't imagine. There were some of them that were real wet, like kind of soggy from the plants.
Well, probably the same thing as what like think of any business. I mean, like I used to work at Lowe's for like a year or whatever, and we had that compactor, and you put cardboard in there and it compacts. And so I'll bet you anything the recycler.
Yeah.
I'll bet it all goes to the same place, whatever happens to it.
Julie said, what company did these plants come from? I watched the video twice to see if I missed something. They came from Moss Greenhouses in Jerome, Idaho. I do think I showed a paper.
They need to watch the video a third time.
Huh?
They need to watch the video a third time.
Oh, yes, a third time. I did show it. Say it louder for the people in the back, please. Said, so pretty. Did you get in any string of turtles? I'm on the hunt. We did not in that load. We got a string of just about everything else, but no string of turtles.
Could you complete the whole set of string of things? Like, could you have could a person have all the string of?
I'm sure.
Like, how many are there, do you think?
I don't know.
There's like string of buttons, string of turtles, string of dolphins, string of pearls.
I got string of dolphins. I've got string of bananas, string of pearls, variegated, string of turtles, string of hearts.
The varieties,
string
the
of
extra
needles.
variegated ones. String of needles?
Yeah. Have you seen those?
Is there a string of beans?
Maybe. There's string of tears, maybe? Is there tears?
We should do a video on all the different types of string of
plants.
And try to have them all in the video.
Okay, you source all of those.
Okay.
I'll be working on something else. Okay. Next question. How are the plants getting watered without dripping on the floor and mantle? I'm assuming it's the front window. You're talking about all those hanging plants in the front window. I don't know how they're watering them without dripping. I mean, you'd have to hold something under them.
Let them drip.
Yeah, my mom told me, she's like, maybe we should hang up a bunch of vines in the window. And I kind of let my mom walk away, and I looked at my sister and I was like,
I'm not going to do that.
But when I went back, their windows are full of vines.
Yeah.
I just remember having to water stuff like that. And also, like, paper snowflakes. I just thought they're going to drip all over the snowflakes. And, I don't know. They've got it down, though. So Dana or whoever's watering them doesn't make a mess.
It's impressive.
It is. Katrina said, how is your mom doing after her surgery? She wasn't lifting anything too heavy. Nope. Love this video. The inner workings of the nursery is awesome to see. Yeah, she's very careful about how much bending she's doing and all that sort of stuff. So she was helping and doing a lot of not as much of like the bending and lifting of the boxes, but she was doing a lot of hanging. Like she would stand and hang some things, and she was helping a lot. Like she was going around with the paper because we finally figured out a good system on how to check things in quicker so that everybody wasn't doing the job at the same time and doing it twice. And anyway, so she had the paperwork, and so she was doing a lot of the helping us price and check things off, and she kind of manned that, so she didn't have to do a lot of the physical stuff. Diane said, how often does Andrews do this size of houseplant order? I think after Christmas is a must, but do they do this amount again throughout the year? They do. Yep, they do several great big orders and then lots of orders in between. I mean, not all of them are that giant, but I would say several times a year, that big.
Well, I would imagine they probably have to like dwindle themselves down to be able to have all the Christmas stuff in.
Yeah.
And then once all the Christmas stuff goes out, you have a lot of space to bring in like a big load. So that would make sense.
Yeah. And then for a minute there, this spring, there'll be basil and tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of stuff because my mom has to bring stuff in. We have a fall spring almost every year. People get so excited. They want to plant things. We warn them, but we still bring stuff in. They buy it. It dies. And they have to come back in May and buy it again and plant it. But yeah, for a little while, it's too cold out in their greenhouse, but it's warm enough inside the sunroom. And so there's stuff everywhere.
Do your parents just tell people they don't guarantee stuff like early in the spring?
Vegetables and stuff. I don't think any plant should be guaranteed, but that's a whole different
ball of wax.
Yeah. I don't even want to get into that.
Is your blood pressure rising?
It is. I can get stressed
right
out because it stresses me out how people think that a perishable item like that should be guaranteed. Yeah. Okay. Felicia said, will you take over the garden center when your parents retire? That's not the plan at the moment. I have no idea that what will happen. I can't imagine that either not running, being open, and not being in family, I guess, in some capacity. I don't know. Leilani said, Laura, are you working off your IOU list? Don't lie to us. I do usually have some sort of an IOU list going on. When I worked down there, when we lived in the townhouse and we were just doing the garden down there, we didn't have any kids at the time. I remember just like get new loads in and I'd have to have, this or that, never in the quantity that we need for this garden, but I'd take 3 of this or 1 of that. And then I just add it on my IOU and I would work extra hours to pay it off. So I'd volunteer for all the watering on Sunday or watering on holidays or whatever to pay it off. Anyway, but it was the day that I went to help with the snowflakes. I came home and I felt so happy after being down there. I think I just miss all the energy, the spring energy. I love it down there in the springtime. I get so excited talking about to other people about their gardens and what they're doing, what their plans are. It re-energizes me. And I think that it's something that I've been missing and I didn't really even know it. But, we're here, we're doing lots of stuff, but it's all at home. It's all like within our own bubble. And I feel like I should get out of that every once in a while. So I went to my mom after that and I said, okay, this might be a bad idea. So you just let me know if I'm going to be in the way or anything. But I want to come down like maybe on a weekly basis or bi-weekly or maybe just for specific things that are going to be happening during the spring. And I'd love to be able to film it and show you guys kind of some of the behind the scenes things at the garden center, but then that enables me to be down there. I told her I don't want to be paid. I don't want to be on your clock. Like, you don't have to pay me. I'm going to work. Like, I'll do as much work as I can, but I'm still going to be moving cameras around and such. And she was so excited about that. And I think because I moved the cameras around the whole day during the houseplant thing, I think for the most part, it didn't bug anybody. And I'm really pretty respectful of everybody's space and not putting a camera up in their face when I know they're not comfortable with that. But so it should be a fun spring, something a little bit different.
Yeah. So you still have an IOU?
I do have a little one in there. Well, we went on Monday and I picked up a big tall dome for my African violets and some rooting hormone. I owe for that.
Well, you still get a pretty good deal on plants and stuff like that. Like, your parents don't make any money.
No, but I still pay for everything. I pay for everything that I get down there, but I get the same discount that I got before we started a YouTube channel and had our own garden and all of that. Anyway, that's kind of how that's going to work out. So I'm down there, but I'm not being paid to be down there. I'm down there kind of just more of a passion project than anything else. And that's it, you guys, for this week's recap video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great week so far. Sunday, so hopefully the week's great so far, and we will see you in the next video.